Today I'm going to try to convince you that in order to save the world, we need to be more selfish. A millennial will be right. The idea that selfishness is the key to our salvation seems absurd, given that it was the pursuit of our self-interest that's led us to a world that seems in need of saving. But hear me out. You got no choice, really. Now, without a doubt, we live in an amazing world. We can be anywhere on the planet in 24 hours. We have access to self-driving cars, free healthcare, world-class education. And finally, thanks to my handheld supercomputer, I can finally realize my life dream of becoming Pokemon Master. But it seems this prosperity has come at a cost. And if your Facebook feeds are anything like mine, it's pretty obvious. Natural disasters, famine, war, corruption. That was July. I don't want to belabor this point, but by all accounts, humanity is at a crossroads. If we can't overcome these challenges pretty soon, well, there'll be no more Pokemon left for anyone, let alone a habitable planet. And while millions of people in charities, social enterprise, and traditional business are already working to solve these global problems, if we actually want to win this fight, we need even more of us to commit. And for that to happen, I believe we need to change the way we encourage each other to pursue degrees, jobs, careers that contribute to a sustainable future. We need to put aside a double standard about what should motivate people to want to save the world and be honest about what has and always will compel us as humans, our self-interest. I think the problem begins by relying too much on our sense of altruism. Whenever we encourage our children, our students, our societies to consider a career that does good, we appeal first to generosity. Start a social enterprise and save the hungry kids. Become an engineer and save, or rather stop, global warming. And those are the exact reasons we need those professions. But like it or not, an appeal to benevolence is a poor way to motivate a human to do something for the rest of their life. It's not called Maslow's hierarchy of other people's needs. And more to the point, it ignores those things that evidence tell us are top of mind when we're deciding what to do with our lives. Controversial things in the realm of social good, things like money and prestige and self-fulfillment. Selfish desires which appear to be in opposition to helping other people's lives, but only because we're stuck in this idea that if we're doing good for others, we can't do good for ourselves. Like, it's not already hard enough to convince someone to dedicate their most brilliant, industrious work to overcoming the biggest problems of all time. We also demand they be chaste and broke and unsatisfied as well. The truth is, doing good for ourselves is one of the strongest motivators of human behaviour. And if we're ever going to convince our best and brightest, people like you, to do good work that contributes to a sustainable future, we need to get comfortable with the idea that appealing to our self-interest might be the best way to help others. Now, there's decades of research which have specifically shown the factors that influence our career choice. And big surprise, it's all about us. The evidence says there's essentially 4 factors: prestige, money, suitability in terms of our skills and character, and fulfillment. All else equal, most of us will take a job with more of these things rather than less. And it's also likely to be more satisfied and engaged with your work, which would lead to greater well-being and happiness overall. Which is really why we want these things, because they make us happy. So, with these 4 factors in mind, let's try and answer the question everyone's so hesitant to ask. Can doing good for everyone else satisfy our own desires and make us truly happy? Because if so, it's a pretty big selling point we're leaving on the table. So let's start with prestige, which Google defines as the widespread respect and admiration for someone based on perceived achievement or quality. Now, Paul Graham, the co-founder of Y Combinator, said that prestige is like a powerful magnet that warps even your own beliefs about what you enjoy. It causes you to work not on what you like, but what you'd like to like. And I tend to agree. I think that warm fuzzy might last a few minutes after you update your online dating profile. It's probably not enough to keep you warm on that 1-hour commute to a job you'll hate for the rest of your life. No, but it turns out we can't just logic away this desire for status. Primate studies have showed that monkeys higher in the pecking order have lower baseline levels of cortisol, live longer and are generally healthier, which I think makes the point that a desire for status is hardwired. Which is lucky then that our ideas about what is prestigious is changing. Thanks to some visionary change makers like Elon Musk and post-Microsoft Bill Gates, a career dedicated to the betterment of humanity is now sexy. Pop quiz. Is this from the world's largest study on occupational prestige, or is it your wish list for the global problem-solving dream team? Trick question, it's both. Because these days, saving the world is heaps prestigious. I make solar-powered drones that save baby pandas, is going to trump I work in a cubicle making rich men richer 9 times out of 10 in 2016. Hey, humanitarians of Tinder is a thing for a reason. Money. Money is a huge motivator for a lot of things, but particularly when it comes to picking the jobs that get us paid. We use money to be comfortable, to live the lifestyles we dream, to measure our success. We do equate money with happiness, and it's true up to a point. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the famous Princeton study which showed that salaries over $75,000 don't equate to more happiness. It's also interesting to see the surveys that show millennials don't value money above all else. Other things like fulfillment come out on top. But let's not jump the gun, because I want to address this topic head on. One doesn't have to sacrifice a desire for wealth in their mission to improve the world. Thanks to the changing landscape of social business models, some of the most financially successful companies in the world are also the most impactful. Grameen Bank started off by giving low-interest loans to poor rural Bangladeshi women, has since given 7 million loans worldwide and clears 150 million US a year by giving cheap money to poor people. It also won the Nobel Peace Prize. Sort of prestigious if you're into that. Tom's Shoes, the original one-for-one model, which has donated 10 million pairs to date. Blake Mycoskie, the founder and sole owner, recently sold half of it to Bain for $300 million. Happy to walk in his shoes for a day. And my favourite, Elon Musk. And if you're surprised I've used him as a shining example of social good, just keep in mind that his $3 billion companies are upending our fossil fuel dependence, bringing solar power to the masses, and taking humanity to the stars, respectively. If it's real money you want, you can get it while making the world a better place. The real question is, are you up for the challenge? Triple bottom lines aren't easy, but if you're busting your ass for that big payday, that will help some people along the way. Number 3 is the suitability for our work. The fit of our skills, personality, those things that determine what we enjoy and what we're good at. And naturally they influence the roles and responsibilities that we seek. But they also make a great excuse for telling ourselves we're not fit for something. Which is the case sometimes. If you're not good at maths, don't become an accountant. But we're not talking about a job title or even an industry. We're talking about a goal. The preservation of life on Earth. And the problems of the world are so vast, and the organisations working on them so diverse, that there's something here for everyone. These are the UN Sustainable Development Goals and represent the biggest problems as faced by humanity today, determined by a bunch of people way smarter than I. Anything here take your fancy? I can literally throw a dart at these goals and guarantee there's an exciting, innovative organisation that needs accountants, lawyers, builders, plumbers, extroverts and introverts to get the job done. You have other interests? Sport? How about this company that makes footballs that turn kinetic energy into light so poor kids can study? You're a foodie? The social enterprise gets homeless youths off the street of Melbourne by giving them hospitality jobs and training. There's a story that US President John Lyndon in 1962 visited NASA, where he asked the janitor what he was doing. The janitor said, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." No matter who you are or what you enjoy, there's somewhere here you belong. I guarantee these organisations need you a lot more than the investment banks do. The final thing we deeply desire from our work is fulfilment. And it's no surprise given that the average adult spends 90,000 hours of their life at work. So an unfulfilling work life is often an unfulfilling life. And this is reflected, again, in the preference for millennials to have fulfillment in their work over financial reward. But it leaves the question, how do we get fulfillment from our work? Well, if you believe in the scientific evidence, there's a few ways. The first is to do work that is meaningful. And it turns out for work to be meaningful, it has to be helping others. We're talking about combating climate change, fighting poverty, curing disease, potential meaning galore. The second way to fulfillment through our work is with growth and challenge. And not only is saving the world one of the most challenging things you can do, the talent shortage here means you'll be pushed hard. You will learn more, perform better, and grow in ways you didn't think were possible. Just ask anyone that works in this space. And the final key to fulfillment, of course, is through the relationships with the people we work with. We all want to belong. We all want to find our tribe. And nothing brings people closer together than working to overcome a common goal. Some of the most brilliant, inspirational, hard-working people I've come across have been in the realm of social good. And I truly think that it's the people that you meet on your journey to save the world that's one of the greatest perks of the whole gig. Ladies and gentlemen, I think if we're to reach the critical mass of human potential required to overcome these global problems, we need a twofold change in thinking. First, we need to accept that everyone, to some extent, is motivated by their self-interest. And stop treating people that want to do good like they're any different. Second, we need to make a stronger case for a life committed to fighting the good fight as being one of the best ways to satisfy your own desires and make yourself truly happy. Because if we can do that, I think it will go a long way in convincing a lot of people to fight that good fight. Now, unfortunately, it's up to you to decide what that fight will look like. Only you can decide the unique part you'll play in saving this world of ours. I can tell you what it looks like for me, for now. I sell socks, the proceeds of which go to the organisations fighting to achieve these goals, spreading awareness and excuses to brag about your humanitarian feat wherever you go. With whatever's left over, I buy Pokeballs. For me, I just secretly hope that saving the world is a side effect. It's an important one though, so let's get to it. We're running out of time.